Welcome everybody to my presentation for this one. Thanks for this one class I have. Okay, so you've all been adopted to the country of Zambia. Who knows where Zambia is at?
That's in Africa.
Good job. You knew more than I did.
It all started in Africa.
Because I had this class before.
Okay, so don't be. I'm gonna have to beat that out. Okay, so this is what happened when I found out about Zambia.
What are we watching?
My video I made.
I'm a tree. Oh, it's your adoption video.
Yes, this is my adoption video.
You've been adopted to the country of Zambia.
I don't know anything about Zambia, or I guess it's a country. That's it. I don't have any desire to learn anything, but whatever there is about Zambia, I'll put on my website.
All right.
I'd imagine most of you are experiencing familiar emotions. Why is there so? I'd like to teach you guys a little bit about Zambia.
Yeah?
First off, we have the essentials. The booyah button.
Booyah!
That's Batman, not Space Ghost. No, it's Batman. It clearly says I'm Batman. So, the origin of the name Zambia started out as Northern Rhodesia. Some European dudes came over and took it over, and then when Northern Rhodesia became an independent state, it got its own name as Zambia, which is named after the Zambezi River. Zambezi means God's river, according to Wikipedia, which I find a reliable source.
What were the years?
What?
What were the years that all this happened?
So, Northern Rhodesia was 1911 when the white people took over. 1964, during the hippie movement, they became independent. So these are the goals. Apparently I did these wrong, but these are the MGDs. The globalization thing, I ranked Zambia as a 1.0 because they...
What's that, 1 to 10?
What? Can you explain the
Yeah,
scale a little bit?
so I don't really know the scale, but basically there's 1, 2, and 3, right?
So that's the scale.
And so this is, yes, it's not out of 10. Anyways, so I guess it's like, America's a 3. It's like how well you, like your global identity, like how well developed you are.
Okay.
Anyways, Africa, Zambia, not so much. These are some pictures of Africa. That's like famine, because he's really skinny. That's like true. I just thought the baby was really cute in this one. That's this. They have problems with child labor, and so that's they like mine. And then that's famine. I thought it was interesting. I would never drink out of that water. They have a lot of like orphans and whatnot. I believe that's why I have that picture. Some of the child labor thing. Oh, this next one's another one too.
That would stink to have to carry that
Yeah,
big
can you
old
imagine?
Coal? Diamond?
Okay, great. Any questions thus far?
Wait, so they're at 1 because they're not very well globalized.
Yeah, they are very like
Third world.
Technology-wise, they're not very up there.
Which is
Yeah,
weird.
they're way down.
They're way. So they're a 1, but they're like a third world country.
oh my
Right.
gosh.
They have to be a 1 in something.
But if you think about it, we're on the 3rd planet from the sun, so it's the 3rd world, and we're all 3rd world countries.
Okay, great.
That was deep.
All right, so let's get into more light things, as in culture. I don't actually remember what I put on this page. Oh,
Music.
popular music example. Are you guys ready for this? Because this is actually pretty good.
Is
Can we dance?
Is there music?
Would you like to dance?
I would
Do
love
they
to.
ever
Okay.
listen to like American music or anything?
Yeah, but like, but they have really
Drums.
tight music. You guys ready for this?
National Geographic?
This is pretty tight. I found this and I was excited.
Yeah. And this is one of those bad blazing productions, right?
I don't remember if it cusses or
I go
not.
by the
I'll
name
split
of
it out.
The trees cannot move good. It's the wind.
So anyways, that's your general thing. What I'd really like you to see is the national superhero is Anti-Retroviral Man. So just to give you a little bit.
Wait, do we
Seriously?
do we have a superhero?
Anti-retroviral man?
That is
hilarious.
what do you mean we have a superhero?
Like the United States.
Superman.
Yeah, no, Batman. I would.
Because
which I would
Batman's
do.
kind of just like
Ugh.
localized in Gotham.
Dude.
But then
No, I'm gonna show you this one. Okay, give you a little background on Retroviral Man. Would anybody like to? Never mind. That's a lot of reading.
I'll read.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'll read the first paragraph.
Okay, read the Shut up, just read it.
The Zambian HIV epidemic is but one of the many challenges that the new PF government and President Sato will find on the road into the future. He has a question.
Yes.
What is PF?
There have been remarkable victories. Since 2004, 320,000 Zambians were initiated on life-saving antiretroviral treatment. Word from the specialists in the HIV frontline is that we are not going to win the fight against HIV/AIDS with treatment alone. In the coming years, emphasis should move from treatment to prevention of new infections. Abstinence. The
Okay.
pace of new infections still outruns the number of people started on ART at a rate of 2 to 1. Prevention rather than treatment seems to be the way forward. One of the many interesting new initiatives in the field of prevention is a cartoon for children, which is made by the Visual Arts Collaborative Art.
Which voice
for
was that
Art.
just then?
I don't know.
Okay, so they created this anti-retroviral man cartoon because of the age thing. It was targeted at children between 6 to 18, obviously, because they have AIDS. So
2004. Somewhere in Lusaka, bad guys are about to take over the entire city. Oh my gosh!
What the heck?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
That's supposed to be black.
yes.
Easy way out.
Oh, I know.
It's not. Everybody's got it.
No, I don't even care if you jump up this building. Why me?
I knew it.
No, he's gonna get saved.
No.
Retroviral Man!
Can fly!
How did you manage to
Where
survive?
did you find this?
Sometimes you just type in fun in Zambia and that's what comes up.
I wasn't.
What's that?
Look at that mosquito.
I gotta come closer. My branches are longer.
Brandon, he's gonna land on you soon.
What is mosquito?
Holy crap, that tree just killed someone.
There's a yellow
Do
guy.
you know what the percentage of HIV positive people are in Zambia?
Yeah, we'll get to that. I
I would
think.
be a friend. I would
I can
be
Google it.
and make sure you take the ARP every day. Thank you, anti-retroviral man.
Isn't it too bad for a cure of AIDS?
Remember,
Don't you head docs? It's awesome. It's a baby that was born with it, and it fixed it.
Wow.
They can't find HIV in Landon Johnson anymore.
Really?
I don't believe that. Okay, so
You watch the South Park episode, buddy? I'll tell you later.
I think this is the end. Okay, so that was the anti-retroviral man. For your information, everyone with AIDS does not have an afro.
What?
What, it made it
They
seem
get
like
it
that.
after they take the antiretroviral.
Okay, so this is kind of a comparison between what traditional Zambia looks like. So like, you know, like,
for that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Wow, look at them
National
dance.
Geographic.
Why I can't dance like that?
Yeah.
They're dancing on one leg and stuff.
So this is like a boat. It looks
It's gonna seem
Yeah,
like
I don't know why they put an elephant on a boat and expected it to float better, but so that's traditional food.
I'd eat
Which
that.
I would probably eat that. I think.
What's wrong?
Yeah, I don't know if that's cooked all the way, but I would pop it in the microwave. This is traditional Zambian pottery, which is pretty cool.
I really like pottery.
That's
cool.
So this is I think these are outhouses because they look too small to be regular houses. This is kind of interesting. Did something just happen?
Yes. Yes.
Are we gonna be able to move on, or are you gonna tell us?
No, we can go.
Okay.
I can mention it if you want.
I'm just gonna bleep that out. I'm seriously gonna bleep out half the things that happened here. Alright, so this is kind of interesting. This
Yeah, my head too itchy. Just listen to purple.
you guys are the worst audience in the world.
Hey, I asked real serious questions.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah, I just don't know the answer to any of them.
Hey, what is the Cuba?
I don't know. So this is like they have like traditional health practices and whatnot. So like, I don't know, you probably read this, had it up for a while. I don't know why they're boiling white children in a pot. I can't answer that question. We're gonna move on from that.
Cool.
So this is kind of cool. It's like some sort of dancing material.
That's cool.
This is like a meeting type of thing. I think they have really cool like outfits. I don't know if that's a hat or a halo.
Tribal.
This is tribal stuff. That's like animal fur. I don't know what's
That one looks like a cheetah.
That one looks like one of those Davy Crockett hats. Do you see that for like Africa
The
stuff?
raccoon.
Yeah. Okay, and then so in addition to being like traditional and whatnot, they have some modern things about Zambia. So what just happened? Alright, so as you can see, people in Zambia also have time for like art and painting and things. They have a soccer yeah. They have a soccer team, I think. This is like, well,
Capital.
I don't know if that's the capital or if it's like an advertisement, but anyways, those appears to be Toyotas.
Any question?
Yes.
Like, do they dump a lot of money into like sports, or no? Like national teams and stuff.
Soccer, I think so.
Yes. Definitive answer. Another soccer picture. So this is like
MRI machine.
in a traditional, yeah. Thank you for that. I didn't actually know what that was, but they look medical. So they have like regular hospitals.
Those hospitals are like way more advanced than the country of Niger's.
Wow. So this is like a really nice
Like
hotel.
vacation.
Or sit in a bed.
Another nice like hotel picture. So they do have like
This isn't
And then-
that bad.
modern agriculture. I hate you.
What do they farm, hay?
It appears so.
Well, it looks
You're
like
gonna be
wheat.
our expert on that one.
Looks like wheat.
And that's that one. I don't remember what else I have on this page. Nothing.
Pretty
Okay.
new thing.
Any questions on Zambian culture? Yes.
The agriculture, do they use a lot of technology, or do they go out like with like sickles and?
So there's like shown in the pictures. There's also a difference. They have the traditional farming and then modern day farming with
It
tractors
depends
and
on the area.
sorts of.
Like if it's like
Do they speak any dialects in Zambia?
They speak a bunch of different languages because they're Africa, so everybody speaks a different language.
Like each city has their own deal.
Yeah.
so something
Do they still have like chiefs and stuff and little tribes?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Do you know what their population is?
No,
country?
I don't. Like facts that I could make up would be the best questions to ask me.
Wait, what's your country like rank on the poverty level, or?
I actually.
Or like, what about literacy?
Here we go. Literacy. Thank you. The literacy rate in Zambia is 70%.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it's 142 out of 149. So the focus, as stated here, is it's on rote learning, like memorizing things and whatnot. So it really like affects because they can't like critically think, so they just memorize crap. Kind of, yeah.
I'm a tree.
Yes, you are a tree.
So like with education, like how many people actually make it to high school? Do you know?
So it's a really low amount that actually make it to high school. So I'll get to that in a second. So there's 3 levels of education: primary, which is grades 1 to 7; junior secondary 8 to 9; and then upper secondary 10 to 12. So schooling's free up to grade 7, and then after you pass, like if you were to get to grade 9, it would be considered like a decent level of education, like you're an educated person. So it's really hard.
Be a genius.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So, education, it's really rare. They have the University of Zambia, but it's super expensive. But they have these teacher training colleges, which I think are to train teachers, and so it's a little bit more, but it's a lot cheaper than the University of Zambia. Okay, so this is this kind of answers your questions. The issues here, so there's a shortage of teachers, especially in science subjects. They don't have like adequate learning supplies, like textbooks and things like that. And then they have some educational facilities, but they're really mismanaged. And then another part is gaining access to the schooling. So the problem is there's a bottleneck in registration with kids trying to get in because they can only allow so many kids a year. And so there's this backup where kids will just have to wait another year to reapply. And so they have this backlog of overage students. And so in order to gain access to the secondary education that's after grade 7, you have to pass this examination. And there's like a lot of scandals and stuff going on about it, I guess. I read about where like parents will like send there's no way of telling like your age, there's no birth certificates or identification or anything like that, and so parents will send other people in to fake for their child so their child can pass the test, right? And so I guess it's kind of hard to pass this test, especially since it's poor education. Don't break the tree.
That hurt.
And so a lot of students just drop out of school.
That's pretty good.
Alright, so now to compare education with Burkina Faso, which was conveniently, yes, that's Burger King. We have another Booyah button. This is actual Zambia stuff right here.
Booyah.
Booyah. That's a mask. Isn't that pretty cool?
Some wicked sweet glasses.
Dude, if I found that on eBay, I don't think there's a price I wouldn't pay for it.
I wouldn't go about $5.
With shipping. So Burkina Faso is another country close and similar to Zambia. So they have to go to school from ages 6 to 16, and it's free up until that point, but the supplies aren't included. So a lot of families just, yes?
Where's Zambia located?
Zambia is right there.
Okay, cool.
Oh, so you're like in the dirty south.
Well, South Africa I think is nice, isn't it? So it's not really
Yeah.
dirty South.
White. The whole apartheid thing.
I think there's
Is that why it's
yeah.
so good?
Alright, let's not get too racist here.
We might have to bleep some of that out.
I'm bleeping out most of this conversation. So, the problem is a lot of people in Burkina Faso, so it costs a lot to put them to school. It's free, but they have to, did you say false?
Is that Faso?
Potato.
Alright, so, anyways, a lot of parents will just send the oldest male so everybody else doesn't get educated. So, problems, the literacy rate in Burkina Faso is 30%, which is a lot lower than the 70%. Wasn't it 70%, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, the education there is in French, which is a dumb idea. So,
Comment allez-vous?
and they have a shortage of teachers. Alright, women's rights. Alright,
Can they vote?
in Zambia,
Yeah.
They're working on it.
they're working on it. Yes?
What is their governmental system?
Presidential.
Presidential?
Yeah.
Is that
They have a
PS?
president. Yes. Shut up. Jeez.
That was the question from the beginning.
Okay, so we had to study about women's rights. So this is a video we made about women's rights after watching this other lady talk.
She's white.
Okay, she's not from Zambia. Okay, so this is our group project.
Losing class.
So we're making a video for our Developing Worlds class, and right now we're talking about the third issue that the UN came out with for developing countries to kind of raise their standards, which is to promote gender equality. And we watched a TED Talk from Cheryl Woodden, who is in charge of the Half the Sky program, who is trying to help developing worlds realize the potential of women around the world. And for this one, she told the different stories of girls who have been either pulled out of education because their family didn't have enough money or their circumstances were really bad. So she's just trying to alert the world that there is a way that we can help those girls.
One of the topics that she talked about in her program was the importance of educating women and the effect that that can have on not only their community but their country. And so some of the pluses or some of the benefits that she listed of educating women, one was it tends to decrease overpopulation in countries that tend to have way too many people in a concentrated area. If we can educate women and help them understand the implications that overpopulation can have on their families and the community, they're more likely to make conscious decisions before having kids. Something else that education does for women is it increases more wise spending habits. They're more aware of the effects that their decisions have on their economy, the economy of their family, and their village or community. Education also helps them make better use of their resources. They know how to use them more effectively, how to not waste them quite as much, how to help those around them with their resources. And lastly, and probably the most important thing that comes from educating women is it increases the chance that her children will also become educated. And that can have a ripple effect on generations. If the mother or the woman in a certain circumstance can teach her family the importance of becoming educated, they will most likely take that with them as they grow older and use that to help their own future families. And overall, that should over time help the community as a whole.
Is that what she was saying, that when she said women are the solution, it's people like not in the U.S., not necessarily people who like donate money, because these people have a certain mindset. Like there's this girl who had a fistula infection, so she would defecate like just freely, and people didn't know what was going on because they didn't know medical issues, so they left her to die in a hut that they ripped the door off of to get eaten by hyenas. Like this is going on in the world right now, and if they knew like what was going on, she wouldn't have had to be laid out to die. But she realized that she could be the solution to her own fate rather than just accepting the cultural baggage that was put on her. And she dragged herself to kind of a missionary, and he helped her. And so she was able to get out of that situation and put herself kind of in a more modern world. So these women with the traditional perspectives, they don't really look around to see what else they can do to help a situation like that. So this woman in the Middle East, she was beat by her husband, and her mother-in-law was kind of against her, but she decided also to rise up from her situation and start her own clothing company in which she was able to hire her unemployed husband. So it's not women from the U.S. that necessarily is the solution, or men, or anything. It's the women in these countries that can be the solution. So if they change their mindset and kind of abandon their more, their kind of negative cultural traditions that can have a negative impact on their life, then they can go on and be modernized and learn their self-worth. So that's what I think in the end, that's the solution, is how we can change these women's mindsets, and that they can change the future for themselves and for their children and for everyone in their country.
Problems. Let me tell you about problems. We have women's rights problems. There was once a great man by the name of Spider-Man, and he taught me this one lesson, that with great power comes great responsibility. And that's what we need in America. Well, no, that's what we need. What American... I'll tell you a little story about a man who had a goat. And this goat's name was Henry. And Henry was a good goat. Lots of goat milk. Gross, but still good. And Henry one day was shipped to India, I believe. Henry was shipped to Africa. And there was this girl, and she had to carry water from the water place to her house, I'm assuming. And her parents were like, well, why does she need an education? What was her, I don't want to say her name, it was like Bababoo. Bababoo and Henry became friends when Henry got to Africa. So Bababoo took Henry home. Henry's the goat, remember? And Henry had twins, right? Because Henry wasn't Henry, it was a girl's version of Henry. If I had a goat, I'd name it Henry. Alright, so this goat that's a female had twins. Don't ask how. Sold the twins. So the twins got sold, and the family made money, and the goat made goat milk, which gave the family money. The family had enough money to send Bababoo to school. So Bababoo went to school. She was like super smart. And so on this like ultimate test, like Africa style, like not like Survivor, but like an actual test, she did really good and got a scholarship to a college in
On the East Coast, yeah.
Yeah, all right. In Connecticut. And she did really good there. I don't know what...
She graduated.
She graduated.
I don't know what she became, but...
She graduated in being smart. Some people do that. And she got a job, I'm assuming. That's what I would hope would happen. She got a job and sent money back to her family, who then paid the money to get all of Henry's cousins shipped to Africa. All because of one goat. And that's the story of Henry and the Bababoo.
So that's women's rights. I didn't know what to talk about, so I talked about a goat. There's some weird things that are... Okay, so what questions do you have about women's rights in Africa? Yes, Cody.
So, Henry and a Babadoo.
Henry and Bababoo. I couldn't pronounce the name, so I just made up Bababoo. And it was the goat, but they didn't have a name. I made that up too.
Henry.
So that was based on a true story.
That was based on a true story. That was like a...
How much based?
Loosely.
It's... Yeah, so...
So wait, was she the only girl in her family, do you remember?
Yes. She's the only girl in her family, and they didn't have enough money to send her to school, and then some wealthy person sent them a goat, and they made goat milk. They sold the goat's offspring, sent this girl to school. She was really smart. She went to college in America, and then got a really nice job. Came back, helped a lot of her other friends and family get to school and education, and it just kind of sprawled out. So there's a solution to women's rights problems, and the solution is women.
Do you think that the establishing women's rights is helping that country move forward?
Oh yes, absolutely. So they can really help. You know, if they educate the women, then you educate the children. So it helps the next generation.
Do you think that that's hindered their country's progression, not giving the women very much rights?
I would say yes, because women we're on equal basis. That way, it's twice the population helping to progress the country instead of just half. That was actually a true statement. Just made that up. That might not have been made up. I'm sure somebody said it, but I just thought it. Zambia, as I'm pointing to you on this map of Africa, this is where Zambia is located.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I can spot it from miles away.
It's
You pointed to that earlier when I asked you.
It's lower middle.
Yeah, exactly. So let me take you on my virtual tour. Here's this pontoon on the Zambezi River coming through, and this is it looks like a beach, but it's actually somebody's backyard. And then as we come up here, this is the national park, but that's a lion in the national park.
Lions, tigers, and bears alive.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Was that a male? Is that lion a male or a female?
Male.
How do you know it's a male?
Because it has a mane. I watched Lion King.
No, females have names?
I don't know. They didn't in Lion King.
Have you ever seen a chick with a beard?
Okay, let's not answer that. And that's my virtual Google Earth tour. You can explore more of it on your own, as it's so extensively mapped out. Do you have any questions for me about
Do you
Zambia?
have any exports or anything, or what do they do?
X-rated? What?
What do people work in?
So they have really rich, some sort of reserve. It's mineral reserves. They have really rich mineral deposits. And a while ago, when Zambia first became independent in 1964, they thought it was going to be one of the richest countries in Africa. But because, I don't know how to put it, because...
I have an explanation for this. So, when I was reading about Africa, because there's a lot of countries in Africa, that have rich supply of like certain things.
Yes.
Like my country that I did, we had a lot of uranium and oil. But because people weren't educated, China was coming over and taking over. The little Asian people was coming in and like
Little people.
That's the politically correct.
but they were just like, hey, you know, we're not going to give you any of the higher up jobs because we want to be able to control you. And the government's like, well, you're giving us money, so we don't care. Does that happen in Zambia?
Yes, that's exactly. I don't know about the little people, but definitely Asians.
I was just wondering, how you, like, on the women's rights issue, like, how you propose it could, like, what it could be done. Like, what are some ways that it could actually be
So the solution to women's rights problems is women.
That was pretty good.
They need to be educated,
and
then
how?
through schools.
How? Where are they going to get the funding?
Stop asking how. What the how?
Everyone's gonna get edited.
I don't even know if I'm okay.
You better edit the.
I think I'm just gonna cut a lot out and then bleep most of it.
Bleeping would take forever.
Okay. So
my eyes are sweating almost like my.
This is over. The end. Sweating. Everything. Oh my gosh.